Hey guys, so this is the craft that we made to just go along with, we're still in the month of Easter and when Jesus died on the cross, and so we made a cross, and this is a salt painting, so I'm going to include directions for how to do this. The kids enjoyed it. It was really fun. This is kind of a messy activity, and parents, it's one of those crafts that is an experience craft. You're not going to want to frame it and put it on the wall or anything like that because it's still kind of messy even after you make it and it dries, because it does kind of shed salt just like that. But it's really fun to make, and all you need is paper, glue, and salt and watercolor paint. I think you could probably also use just regular paint and water it down and it would work just fine. So super fun experience to have for the kids. Okay, so this is how you do the salt painting. So if you use black paper or dark paper, it just won't show any extra paint as much in the background. So you can use another color of paper if you want, but you might have some paint bleeding on the edges if you do. So we just drew a pencil outline of the cross shape and then just went over it in glue. So that's what we've done here. And then you just take some good old salt and sprinkle it over top and kind of move it around so that all the glue gets salt on it. And then if you're doing more than one, you can use the same salt on your other painting like this. Just try and get tons of extra off, but if you have some extra on here like that, that's totally fine. And then you can move it around on your other one. And this is a little bit of a messy project. Sometimes we do messy projects, right? It's okay to make messes sometimes. I know that maybe mom and dad are not excited about making messes every day, but that's what you're aiming for. So we just put down a big piece of paper so we didn't have a huge mess all over the table. So now when you do your painting, you're just going to need some watercolor paints like this, and you're going to get your brush wet and choose your color and get a good amount of paint on your brush. And then the idea is that you just touch it to the salt and it kind of absorbs the color like that. So your brush does need to be good and wet for it to work. And the glue is still wet while you're doing this. It's fine to do it while the glue is wet. You just don't want to push your brush down really hard into the glue, because then of course you will get glue on your paintbrush and you'll have to wash that off, but that's okay. We like to try things out sometimes. So you can choose all different colors like this. So you don't really need to paint like this. You're just going to touch your brush to the salt and it just soaks up the color, which is pretty fun. And if your brush is good and wet, then it'll kind of spread around more like that. So you can experiment with different things. If your brush is really wet, the color bleeds farther and it looks a little bit lighter, of course, the way that watercolors do. So my kids love painting, and if I have to be honest, we don't do it super often around here, but this is a fun way to paint. And so you'll just go along and do over your entire salt painting like that with whatever colors you like. So pretty easy and fun.